You move into a new apartment, rent's cheap, location's decent, and your roommate? Super chill. She's quiet, cleans up after herself, keeps to herself, honestly a dream setup, but then little things start to feel off. She never talks about her past, avoids photos like the plague, and sometimes she just disappears for hours in the middle of the night. We've all heard creepy roommate stories, right? But this one takes the cake. Because what if I told you the woman in this story found out way too late that the person she was living with was one of the country's most wanted fugitives? I'm not joking, this isn't a movie, this actually happened, and the wildest part, she might have never found out if it weren't for one tiny stupid mistake her roommate made. Yeah, buckle in. Because the deeper we go into this story, the more twisted it gets. You are not ready for how this thing unravels. So, let's rewind for a second. Before the headlines, before the cops showed up, and before anyone even suspected a thing. Our story starts with a 26-year-old woman named Jessica Moore. Fresh out of a breakup, trying to piece her life back together, she had just landed a marketing job in downtown Portland. You know that phase where you're starting over, kinda anxious but also excited to build a new life? Yeah, that was her. But the new job came with a deadline. She had 2 weeks to relocate, find a place to live, and somehow not break the bank in the process. Portland's rental market wasn't exactly kind to her budget, and the clock was ticking. After a dozen overpriced listings and a couple of this can't be legal basement units, Jessica finally stumbled across a post in a local Facebook housing group. Room available in 2-bedroom apartment. Quiet, clean, female roommate preferred. Rent $700 per month. No pets, no drama. Seemed perfect. She messaged the poster and within an hour she got a reply from someone named Kate. They chatted briefly and Kate sounded polite, soft-spoken, respectful, and very chill, no weird vibes. They arranged a quick tour and Jessica went to check out the place. Kate opened the door dressed in a loose gray hoodie, minimal makeup, kind smile. She showed Jessica around the apartment and everything looked tidy and quiet. Maybe a little too plain, but nothing alarming. The walls were bare, no photos, no art, just white walls, neutral furniture, and a couple of houseplants that looked half dead. Jessica wasn't looking for a best friend or a Pinterest home. She just needed a safe, affordable space with someone who respected boundaries. And Kate checked all the boxes. They chatted for maybe 10 minutes. Kate said she worked remotely, didn't party, and mostly kept to herself. She mentioned she moved around a lot, but Jessica assumed it was just due to jobs or relationships. People bounce around, right? By the end of the visit, Jessica had a gut feeling. This could work. So she signed the lease the next day, and just like that, they became roommates. For the first few weeks, life in that apartment was, honestly, kind of boring, in the best way. Jessica was settling into her new job, getting used to the rhythm of city life, and her new roommate, still quiet, still polite, still a little distant, but in a respectful boundaries kind of way. Kate didn't make small talk unless Jessica started it. She didn't snoop. She cleaned up after herself. She even had this little routine, morning coffee at 7 a.m. sharp, headphones on most of the day and lights out by 10. It was like living with a ghost, but a very courteous one. The only odd thing, Kate never really opened up. Jessica figured maybe she was just shy or introverted, so she didn't push it. But every time she asked even a casual question, like where Kate was from or what kind of work she did exactly, Kate would either give a vague answer or deflect entirely. "Oh, I've moved around a lot," she'd say. Or, "I do freelance stuff, mostly online." At one point, Jessica even joked, "You're kinda mysterious, huh?" And Kate just smiled and said, "Guess I like it that way." Creepy? A little, but Jessica brushed it off. Everyone has their quirks. But then there were the small things. Subtle stuff that didn't scream danger. But looking back, yeah, red flags all over the place. Like how Kate kept her bedroom door locked. Always. Even when she wasn't home. Like, deadbolt locked. Or how she got deliveries at weird hours. Late night packages left at the door with no return address. And then there was this one moment, super quick, almost nothing, when Jessica walked past Kate's room and saw a huge duffel bag wide open on the floor. Inside, a few IDs, all with different names, all with her photo. Jessica only saw it for a second before Kate noticed and quickly shut the door. That was the first time something twisted in Jessica's stomach. It started with a sound, nothing major. Just this muffled voice Jessica heard through the wall around 2 a.m. She wasn't even sure at first. Maybe Kate was on a late-night call, but it didn't sound like a conversation. It was more like whispering, sharp, panicked. She leaned in closer and heard a language she couldn't recognize, fast-paced, tense. A few seconds later, silence. The next morning, Jessica casually asked if everything was okay. Kate brushed it off with a soft laugh and said, "Oh, just a weird dream, I talk in my sleep sometimes," and smiled like nothing happened. But something had happened. From that night on, Jessica couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. So, she started paying attention. Kate's laptop was always shut the second Jessica entered the room. She carried 2 phones but only ever used one. And when she cooked, she wore gloves, like actual latex gloves, hygiene, she said. Then came the moment that changed everything. Jessica was waiting for a package. She got the delivery notification, but no package at the door. Confused, she checked the hallway. Nothing. Then something told her to check the mailroom downstairs. She walks in, and there it is. Not her package, but Kate's. Or someone else's? The name on the box wasn't Kate. It wasn't Jessica either. It was Danielle Ruiz. Jessica stared at it, frozen. The address was right. The unit number was right. But who the hell was Danielle? Later that night, while Kate was out, Jessica did what pretty much anyone would do in that situation. She Googled it. Danielle Ruiz, Portland. The 6th result was an article, dated 3 years ago. Headline read, "Arizona woman wanted in double homicide disappears after escape." She clicked it, scanned the first paragraph. Then came the photo. It was Kate, or Danielle, or whatever her real name was. Same eyes, same face, same slight scar on the cheek. She wasn't living with Kate, she was living with Danielle Ruiz, a fugitive wanted for a double murder in Arizona. Later that night, while Kate was out, Jessica did what pretty much anyone would do in that situation. She Googled it. Danielle Ruiz, Portland. The 6th result was an article, dated 3 years ago. Headline read, "Arizona woman wanted in double homicide disappears after escape." She clicked it, scanned the first paragraph. Then came the photo. It was Kate, or Danielle, or whatever her real name was. Same eyes, same face, same slight scar on the cheek. She wasn't living with Kate, she was living with Danielle Ruiz, a fugitive wanted for a double murder in Arizona. Jessica sat there, frozen at her desk, just staring at the screen. That photo wasn't just a match. It was dead on. Jessica's hands were shaking as she closed her laptop. Her mind raced with questions she couldn't answer. Had she seen any weapons? Could Danielle tell she knew? Was she even safe right now? She wanted to run, immediately, but something in her said, don't tip her off. So Jessica did what any of us might do in full-blown panic mode. She tried to act normal. She started texting her best friend in code. Her friend was alarmed, obviously, and begged her to go to the police. But Jessica was torn. If she left and Danielle noticed, that could trigger something dangerous. Jessica came home from work and found the apartment spotless. Kate, or Danielle rather, was sitting at the table drinking tea. "Rough day?" she asked. Jessica forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired," Danielle smiled back. "I figured. That's why I cleaned up. Thought it'd help. That was it. Just a simple sentence." But the tone, the look in her eyes, it wasn't kindness. It felt like a message. Jessica barely made it through dinner. As soon as she got into her room, she locked the door, shoved a chair under the knob, and didn't sleep a single second that night. She made a plan. The next morning, Jessica grabbed a backpack and walked straight to the nearest police station. "I think I'm living with someone on the FBI's most wanted list." When police heard the name Danielle Ruiz, their faces changed immediately. Jessica showed them the article, the package, the text threads. And as it turns out, Danielle wasn't just wanted, she was dangerous. Authorities raided the apartment that evening. Danielle was arrested on the spot, calm, no struggle. She looked at the officers, took one sip of her tea and said, "Took you long enough." When police heard the name Danielle Ruiz, their faces changed immediately. Jessica showed them the article, the package, the text threads. And as it turns out, Danielle wasn't just wanted, she was dangerous. Authorities raided the apartment that evening. Danielle was arrested on the spot, calm, no struggle. She looked at the officers, took one sip of her tea and said, "Took you long enough." Jessica returned to the apartment briefly. It felt hollow. The couch, the freezer, even the air. All of it was poisoned with what she'd lived through. The police found fake passports, burner phones, and a notebook filled with coded entries. Jessica didn't take her full stuff. She grabbed a bag of clothes and walked out. "I just didn't want to be in the same air anymore," she told a reporter. "I felt infected." News broke instantly. Danielle Ruiz had been on the run for nearly a decade. 6 states, 5 identities. Portland was just her latest mask. Jessica became the accidental hero. People called her brave. True crime channels covered the case. But Jessica, she just wanted her peace back. It's easy to think, that could never happen to me. But that's exactly what Jessica thought too. Not every monster hides in the shadows. Some of them do your dishes, smile at you in the hallway and say, "Good morning, trust your gut, always." It's easy to think, that could never happen to me. But that's exactly what Jessica thought too. Not every monster hides in the shadows. Some of them do your dishes, smile at you in the hallway and say, "Good morning, trust your gut, always." So now, I've got to ask you, if you were in Jessica's shoes, what would you have done? Would you have trusted your gut, or brushed it off like just another awkward roommate situation? Drop your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you think about this story. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you found this story shocking, there's more where that came from. We'll be covering more true crime cases that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious. We'll see you again soon here on Unsolved Case Vault.